Portugal, a small country with a colossal history. From the stormy Atlantic to the golden shores of Africa and Brazil, her kings carved an empire that stretched across the world. In this epic journey, we unveil the 10 greatest kings who shaped the destiny of Portugal. Men of vision, courage, and glory. Afonso Were, reign 1139 to 1185, the founder. It began with Afonso Henriques, the warrior prince who defied his mother, rebelled against Leon, and forged a kingdom. After the stunning victory at Ourique in 1139, he declared himself King of Portugal. By 1147, he had taken Lisbon from the Moors. Afonso I laid the very foundation of Portugal, earning the title the Conqueror. Without him, there would be no Portugal. Dinizai, reign 1279 to 1325. The farmer king, fast forward to the 13th century. Dinizai wasn't just a ruler, he was a poet, a builder, and a visionary. Known as the Farmer King, he planted pine forests, protected agriculture, and established the University of Coimbra. Under his rule, Portugal became a land of knowledge and stability. He made peace with Castile and built the future. Joan I, reign 1385 to 1433, the king of a new dynasty. After a crisis in 1383, Joan I emerged as the savior of Portugal. Chosen by the people, he crushed Castilian claims at the Battle of Aljubarrota. He founded the Abbas dynasty and launched the Age of Discoveries. His alliance with England through the Treaty of Windsor still stands today. He was more than a king. He was a symbol of independence. Henrique the Navigator, not a king but prince, 1394 to 1460. Though not a monarch, Prince Henry the Navigator deserves a place in any story of Portuguese greatness. As the son of Joan I, he funded expeditions that pushed the edges of the known world. Africa, the Atlantic islands. He opened the sea routes that would soon change history. Afonso V, reign 1438 to 1481. The African nicknamed the African, Afonso V expanded Portuguese influence deep into Morocco. He continued exploration efforts and led daring campaigns in North Africa. Under his reign, Portuguese maps stretched ever further, and the dream of empire began to take shape. João II, reign 1480 e 1495, the perfect prince. They called him o príncipe perfeito, the perfect prince. João II was ruthless, brilliant, and visionary. He reformed the nobility, centralized power, and invested in exploration. He pushed Portuguese ships around Africa, paving the way for Vasco da Gama. Under him, the empire was no longer a dream. It was destiny. Manuel I, reign 1495 to 1521. The fortunate Manuel I inherited a kingdom on the brink of glory. In his reign, Vasco da Gama reached India, Pedro Álvares Cabral discovered Brazil, and the wealth of the East flooded into Lisbon. Cathedrals rose, art flourished, and Portugal became a superpower. They called him the Fortunate, and rightly so. João III, reign 1521 to 1557. The colonizer. João III ruled during the peak of Portuguese colonial power. He strengthened Brazil, brought the Jesuits to the colonies, and expanded into Asia. Under his hand, the Portuguese Empire became the first global empire. The sun never set on João's dominion. Sebastian I, reign 1557 to 1578. The Lost King. He was young, idealistic, and obsessed with crusading glory. In 1578, King Sebastian led a doomed campaign into Morocco and vanished in battle. His death ended the Avis dynasty, but gave birth to a legend, Sebastianism, the belief he would return to save Portugal in its darkest hour. Even in defeat, he became immortal. Joan IV, reign 1640 to 1656, the restorer. After 60 years under Spanish rule, João IV rose from the shadows to reclaim the Portuguese throne. In 1640, the Restoration War began, and João emerged victorious. He rebuilt the kingdom and restored its independence. The people called him the Restorer, and for good reason. From conquest to empire, from exploration to restoration, these kings were not just rulers. They were architects of history. Their legacy shaped the world and the soul of Portugal. They built a nation, touched the heavens, and proved that even the smallest country can dream the biggest dreams. Which king do you think was the greatest? Tell us in the comments below.